Coming up tonight, relief at long last. Ahead tonight, the aftermath of the Great Harbor Key blaze. Also ahead, 3 minutes, PTC's payback to its customers. The Bahamas Tonight starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
A massive fire has left its mark on the quaint Berry Island community, which attracts hundreds of high-end second home owners. Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley. Now, the island is slowly returning to normalcy this weekend after that raging bushfire tore through about 200 acres of land. This evening, we bring you the impact of the massive blaze as the area member of Parliament praised the quick action of residents turned firefighters and the fire department. Here's Cleopatra Murphy.
Pockets of smoke from several hotspots and the charred remains of an old truck were evidence left behind of a 3-day-long inferno that ravaged some 100 acres of land on Great Harbor Key in the Berry Islands. Police officers continued to douse the area to ensure there were no flare-ups as Member of Parliament for North Andros and the Berry Islands, the Honourable Dr. Perry Gomez, visited the site of the once raging bushfire Friday. The fire that started around noon Tuesday threatened several nearby homes before it was finally put out Thursday night. But the effort was not without its challenges, according to Police Assistant Superintendent Dennis Brown. He says the aid of residents was also crucial in extinguishing the flames.
We had to engage the use of a tractor to make the path for the fire engine that's in the rear of us to drive through to engage the fire. Those were mainly some of the challenges that we encountered.
As the fire raged and crossed to both sides of the road, residents ripped the boards covering the pool of a nearby home to access its water. While no lives were lost or injuries occurred as a result of the blaze, Chief Counselor Lawrence Roll appealed for firefighting equipment on the island.
We had to take drastic measures, like knowing that there was a pool right here, and we know that water was close by because every time the fire truck runs off and come back, the fire escalates. So we were able to take water out of this pool here to help save this house and so many of the other homes. You know, we just had to improvise, just use what we had.
All we have is a makeshift fire truck. We have some volunteers. We don't have a real fire station like most of the family islands. We don't, but we try to use what we have. But you know, there's always a need for emergency equipment, especially on these islands. You know, where there's no expertise. So you have to depend on, I guess, local knowledge and do what you have to do to survive. You know, in cases like this.
Minister Gomez was proud of the community effort to put out the blaze.
I think the experience here in the Great Harbor Key, the Berry Islands, since Tuesday night when the fire started, has been an exemplary example of the collaboration that communities throughout the Bahamas, when they come together in response to a tragedy.
Thanks to their combined efforts, residents were able to successfully save homes like this one. From the Berry Islands, Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Several new initiatives are underway to improve the government's housing program. The changes are unfolding as officials seek to build partnerships with the private sector and present more affordable homes. Also coming with these changes are plans for new housing subdivisions. Meantime, a memorandum of understanding has been signed between the Ministries of Housing and the Bahamas Real Estate Association. The agreement was signed this week to facilitate a series of collaborative opportunities to the benefit of the housing market. And Housing Minister Ken Dorset says it'll start with a forum focused in part on legislative changes to the industry.
One is that BREA has agreed to work together with us to advance, hopefully this year, a national conclave to address matters pertaining to the real estate sector, where they will be able to provide commentary to various government agencies on either government policy as it relates to the real estate sector or legislation, existing and recommended. And so I think it gives an opportunity for that private sector a body, which really is the association that represents the real estate sector, to work together with the government.
Now, Minister Dorset adds that another goal of the partnership must be access to affordable housing through the private sector.
The MOU also speaks to BRIA encouraging or working together with the Ministry of Housing to ensure that we are continually able to provide affordable housing to Bahamian people, be that government or private sector, and working together on new construction systems technologies, as well as ensuring that we sensitize their membership, including their developer members, of the significant amount of persons who we have who want an affordable home, but unfortunately they are not currently providing inventory in the private market at the prices that a lot of our applicants want. And so we're hoping that through this arrangement that we will see more private sector involvement in the housing sector, particularly for affordable homes.
In other news, the construction industry in Andros is seeing an upswing in business, with works now underway on the new Agricultural and Marine Institute. Through this multi-million-dollar project, contracts were awarded to a number of local Androsians to build a new facility in North Andros while creating a new revenue stream for residents. Our Julian Gibson spoke to one of the contractors who's busy laying the foundation for the historic development.
So far, it's been okay. Guys seem to be picking up the pace right now. So by next week we want to have this foundation finished.
I understand you got a majority of staff is basically from Andros. How are those guys working out on the construction side?
The Prime Minister had stressed that we want this to be something Androsian, so we're trying to hire as much as the local Androsian as possible before we get into our major work and bring in probably 1 or 2 skilled guys from New Providence.
What it means for you, somebody from Cargill Creek, being able to come back home and be a part of something major like this?
It's a great feeling. We've been waiting on something to happen in Andros for a very long time. So it's a wonderful thing that the government has pursued this project, and we hope that they would continue to do more works in Andros.
So you guys on course, completion date, I guess you got a date already penciled in when you could be completed?
Well, we want to try and finish ahead of time, so we're going to push as hard as we can push, and in July, early August, because like we said, this project is 6 months, so September is opening. We want to give ourselves at least a month ahead of time to go over any little small changes that we have to do.
Any challenges you guys had so far in the early phase of the construction?
The only major challenge that we're experiencing so far is concrete. We need to probably get a better batch plan here that we can get access to concrete as readily as possible. So that's the only major issue that we're experiencing now. But it's working out now. Things seems to be rolling. So hopefully by next week it should be a smoother process.
How many young men you have employed?
So far we have about 17 to 20 guys out here right now, young guys, along with 1 or 2 elderly guys here. But we expect to, once we get out the foundation, to double that amount right now.
In crime news, 2 Grand Bahama men are in custody in connection with the find of dangerous drugs. We're told the drugs are worth about $20,000 on the street. Police say it was around 6:30 last evening that officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit, acting on a tip while at the Lucayan Harbor, searched 2 males and their luggage, where they discovered in one of the pieces 6 clear plastic bags, each containing a quantity of suspected marijuana. Now, both men, police say, are ages 24 and 35, were taken into custody. The drugs are said to weigh 20 pounds. An investigation is ongoing. Police also need your help tonight in solving 3 overnight shootings which have left 3 men nursing wounds in hospital. In the first incident, we're told a man was at a nightclub on Robinson Road just after 1 o'clock this morning when he was shot. Police say the victim was transported to hospital where he's detained in stable condition. In the second incident, just after 4 o'clock this morning, when a man was walking through Wilson Track, 2 men reportedly armed with handguns approached him and shot him in his leg and arm before fleeing on foot. He's detained in stable condition. And an hour later, a man was at a nightclub on Crooked Island Street off Palmetto Avenue when he was shot to the chest and neck. He was taken to hospital where he's detained in serious condition. Meantime, police need your help tonight in solving overnight robberies as well. Just after 1 o'clock this morning, a man was at the junction of Shirley and Fowler Streets when a group of men robbed him of cash before fleeing on foot. A half hour later, we're told, a man was sitting in his 2004 silver Honda Inspire vehicle at the corner of Wilson Track and Wolf Road when two men armed with a handgun approached him, took his vehicle and sped off. Investigations are ongoing. Well, still ahead tonight, cleaning up Fox Hill, the dual goal of the campaign in the historic community. Stay tuned.